As a business owner, have you ever felt like social media is stretching you past your bandwidth? And that there's so many platforms out there that you aren't really sure how to show up effectively on any of them? Today, I'm going to alleviate some of that stress by showing you how to use a major piece of content to populate your social media channels. Hello and welcome to the Online Marketing Podcast. I'm your host, Bailey Morgan, and I just want you to take a second to thank yourself for coming here and taking a few minutes out to learn more for your business. This episode is brought to you by Violet Coast Media, Inc., a digital marketing agency offering forward-thinking digital marketing services and coaching programs to help you grow your business and show up online. For more information, visit violetcoastmedia.com. As promised, let's get into how to use a major piece of content to populate your social media channels. Now, a major piece of content is a long-form resource of information that you've created. It could be a blog, a video, a case study, an interview, or a podcast. Now, let's go ahead and jump over our first hurdle. I know that you're thinking, Bailey, I don't know when the last time I created a major piece of content was. I've been so busy running my business. Now, if this is you, I want you to get in the habit of spending one day a month creating 3 to 4 pieces of major content. If this is easy for you and you want to schedule it into your weekly schedule, that's amazing. Do that. In a perfect world, I want you to release one new piece of content every week. This will vary by business. Most businesses, I recommend minimum 1 a month. Here are a couple examples. If you're a physical therapy business, release 1 blog a week or 1 video a week to help people and answer their questions. Why does my neck hurt? How much exercise should I be getting? Remember, the more content you have, the more discoverable you are. And people have the ability to share it with their friends, which can create referrals. Here's an example. Someone hits the share button on a great article from you and they say, great article from the physio I've been going to for years. And someone comments on it and says, I'm looking for a physio. Is this a good place? Then imagine your client replies and says, yes, John is amazing. Let me PM you his info. Without that piece of content, that referral may have never been made. Another reason why I suggest creating a minimum of 1 blog a month or 1 major piece of content a month is because businesses typically have a monthly newsletter. And if you don't create anything that month, what are you going to share? You're going to pop into people's inboxes like, I haven't shared anything this month, but here I am in your inbox. Now, no shame at all if you are at the point where you have a newsletter that you send out monthly, but you aren't creating content. I just want to tell you, you're miles ahead of most businesses. The truth is, you'll end up spending so much time trying to come up with something for that newsletter anyway that you may as well have just created the content in the first place. Now that we've gotten past actually creating the piece of content, this is about to get a lot sweeter because I'm going to show you how to use that content that you've already created on your social media channels without sounding redundant. Step 1, establish which platforms you're going to show up for. I suggest having 2 to 3 platforms that you commit to showing up on every week. You may have other platforms that you just have a presence on at the minimum. Here are some ideas: Instagram, Facebook, Pinterest, Twitter, LinkedIn, TikTok. Make sure to pick those platforms and commit to showing up on them. Now, I want to show you an example of how you can leverage one piece of content while serving your audience and saving time. Let's say you have 1,000 followers. You created a post about your major piece of content and 10% of people actually clicked the link and checked it out. The information you put in that major piece of content may be valuable to those other 900 people. They just didn't engage with you off the platform. You now have the opportunity to repurpose that content into posts. So let me walk you through it. This podcast, for example, I'm going to break it up into 3 clever social media posts that I can use. 1, how major content benefits your business. 2, social media platforms you should be sharing your blog on. 3, how to repurpose a blog for 3 Instagram posts. See what I did there? The biggest mistake people make is using their piece of content once as bait to get people to their website, and then they spend tons of other hours creating social media posts with different topics. Leverage the content you've already created and just break it down into small pieces. Just because you shared your major content once, A, it doesn't mean that everyone saw it, and B, some people may not have even read all of it or listened to all of it, or they got distracted in the middle of your YouTube video or whatever content you put out there. I think we all at some point have made this mistake because we spend so long creating this one piece of content that once it's done, we just want to post it everywhere and be done with it. The other cool thing is that if you actually plan out your content, you can take those 4 different major pieces of content, break them each into 3 posts, and disperse those 3 posts over 3 weeks so that you can have a variety in your content each week. Now, that was a lot to say, so I'm going to try and break it up again in another way. So you have 4 pieces of major content if you are creating every single week. If you pull 3 posts from each of those 4, you can split up those 12 posts among the 4 weeks and have a variety in your content. A couple concluding thoughts that go along with repurposing content. Make sure you adapt your content for each platform. 1, you have the proper image size for each platform. 2, you use different photos and visuals each time. So if you're pulling 3 posts from the same blog or video, make sure that you're using different photos. The nice thing if you have a video is one of the teachings can actually just be a pull from the video. So there's one visual done. After that, get creative and make sure the visuals have a variety. This is actually a big pet peeve of mine. I made a TikTok about it telling people we notice when you use the same photo, especially on Instagram. People think, hey, I'll just use the same photo a couple times, 1 month, a different month. We notice. Just so everyone knows. So get creative and do your best. Speaking of using the same image, this actually happens to everyone. Sometimes some people do it on purpose and some by mistake. A few weeks ago, I posted the same photo and I didn't realize it until I actually went down my feed and saw that I'd used that photo somewhere else. Sometimes I create a lot of content, especially when I go down to California, and then I repurpose it throughout other months and use it that way. So I didn't realize that I already repurposed it for something else. So I deleted it in shame. But just so you know, it does happen. But it's really important to create a variety of content for your audience so that they continue to listen and tune in and read your captions. This has been another episode of the Online Marketing Podcast. Be sure to check out the show notes or head over to violetcoastmedia.com/podcast to find this episode's training guide to help you break this episode down and start implementing it into your business. Be sure to head over and follow us on Instagram at Violet Coast Media Inc. and feel free to ask us any questions about this episode. Bye for now and talk to you soon.